Hello, Jess Too Good here, and 49 LEGO Ideas projects qualify for the second 2023 LEGO Ideas review, which just was revealed today. I'll give you my thoughts on which ones I think will actually become LEGO sets and which ones will be rejected. And this is going to be, I guess, 2025 LEGO sets at this point, with just judging the release schedule of LEGO Ideas sets at this pace. So the first one is the Big Boy Locomotive, and this is based off of a real train. This was actually a resubmission from my understanding of a project that first got denied. Now with the Orient Express still not released, I'm not sure LEGO will choose this, so I would give this one a not very likely at all, because, well, the Orient Express hasn't seen like any sales yet because it hasn't been released. So I think once LEGO sees the sales of it, the Orient Express, the first LEGO Ideas train, sells really well, they'll say, okay, yeah, we'll go with that and we'll make more trains. But by the time that Orient Express releases, I think this review period will be over. They do say the results will come in early 2024, and I don't even know when the Orient Express is coming. I don't think it's even coming this year. It's coming like early next year. So yeah, that one I don't think is likely at all. Then we have the Retro Arcade. Now it's kind of interesting because a lot of people want an arcade, and I wish LEGO would just give us a full-on arcade, but it's not something that they've really given us. I guess you could say like the roller rink from LEGO Friends. So maybe this could be their stab at a full-on LEGO arcade. As much as I wish it was licensed, from my understanding, this one doesn't have licensed arcade cabinets. You can see instead of Pac-Man, there's like Pac-Man. So that's interesting. I like the little photo booth here, and we even have a little motorcycle right over there, which makes me wish that Sega arcade potential project passed, where they even brought it back as being a set that they might release, but then the International Space Station, which was so boring to me, won, which that made me so sad. Like, we had a chance to get a Sega arcade. Regardless, for this design, I'd give this one maybe not super likely, because it doesn't seem like LEGO does too many city buildings for Ideas. They do a lot of, I guess you could say, outdoorsy buildings, whether it be the old fishing store, whether it be the A-frame cabin from this year. But I don't think this is totally impossible, and I think LEGO might want to take a stab at an arcade. So yeah, I'd give this a lower likelihood. And then we got the Spartan helmet of Leonidas. This is quite interesting. It's, I guess, on the same scale as, say, the superhero helmets, but definitely a different take instead of having like a plaquenil. Maybe even on the scale of, say, the Black Panther mask that was released, where it was really just a dedicated bust. You got a little bit of the shoulder armor there. This one I am kind of in the middle with. I'm not entirely sure. I would actually maybe lean towards less likely. But I mean, we have gotten LEGO Spartans before, so it's not like it's an ultra-violent concept to capture or anything. It's something LEGO has done before. But I just don't know what the market is, especially seeing when something like that Black Panther bust flopped for a specific helmet and some shoulder design for the Spartan helmet. Now, this would be a lot less in its price than, say, the Black Panther helmet, because this doesn't look as big as that. So maybe that's where likeliness comes in. It is a unique idea, and they could probably get away with putting this for 50 or 60, like the helmets and other things from the superheroes line. So yeah, not impossible, but I don't know if it's super likely. And then next up, we have the Alfa Romeo, I can't even say it, Spider. Now, LEGO Ideas has done some large-scale cars before. I'm thinking of that one yellow one from a couple years back, which didn't seem to really sell super well. The design of this one is kind of stylized to, I guess, a more retro style that is distinct from that previous car. But I don't know enough about the draw power of how popular this specific vehicle is, because, you know, I know about the popularity in like TV shows and pop culture stuff. Vehicles aren't so much of my wheelhouse, pun intended. So I'd actually genuinely give this an I don't know. Red Bull Racing F1 team. So we got another large-scale car. This one, you know, as an actual race car, Formula One. I will say I don't think this is likely at all, just because the Red Bull branding. I don't think LEGO wants to team up with Red Bull at all. It seems like more of an adult energy drink, and they might have like a problem, even though it's not like alcohol or anything, sponsoring that. So yeah, I don't think they would do this at all just because of the Red Bull branding. Then we have the Muppet Show, which is so crazy to me because there's actually 2 Muppet Show projects in this review, which is great. And Lego does love their Disney idea sets, but I feel like Lego might actually be like, okay, maybe we're doing too much Disney ideas because what, we got the upcoming Nightmare Before Christmas, we just got the Sanderson sisters, and then we have the one that was just announced a couple days ago, if you all missed that, which was this Disney 100 set of side contests that they had. So there are a lot of Disney idea sets in the pipeline and Disney sets we just got. But then again, I mean, what are the huge sales of Lego? Star Wars, which is a Disney property, Marvel, which is a Disney property, Disney 100 and Disney Princess line. So I don't know if the branding itself will be that much for Lego to stop than say when they kind of cool down a bit on doing the space-themed Lego Ideas projects. But yeah, I would absolutely love this to happen. Again, I'm not giving you which ones I want to happen over, say, okay, I want this to happen so it's likely. I'll be honest with you, I would give this maybe like less likely, which makes me so sad because I love the Muppets. I absolutely love the Muppets. And of course, we got the CMF series. But I just fear that the design of this might be a bit too niche for what Lego is doing right now. But then again, I mean, we got the Sanderson cottage, which is less iconic than the Muppet Show stage, so it is a little bit hard. So yeah, I'd give it a less likely, but I want it to happen so bad. It's just that with the Muppet stuff, maybe when this was more towards the time of Lego releasing, or sorry, Disney releasing the Muppet Show on Disney+. But recently they did that, like, Electric Mayhem show. We have, do we have a Muppets, another project in the pipeline? I don't even know. So maybe this might be a bit too retro for what they're going for, but I would absolutely love this. I don't feel like it's very likely, but I don't think it's straight up impossible. And it's by Bulldozer, who is the person who did the Sesame Street project, which is something that did get approved, another Muppet project. So yeah, I would love it to happen. I don't know if it's extremely likely, but it's not impossible. Scooby-Doo Mystery Machine, so a large scale of the Mystery Machine, which would give us another way to get the minifigures again, which is awesome because especially one like Velma just goes for so much money. But yeah, this could maybe work. I just haven't seen Lego Ideas do the large scale pop culture vehicles. That's usually something they just do on their own Icons line, whether it be with the Ghostbusters, Ecto one, whether it be with the Back to the Future one. But yeah, I'd give it a less likely, but not entirely impossible, because I feel like Lego would just want to do this on their own and get like all the funds on their own, and Warner Bros. Or whatever, and not have to cut out that deal for Lego Ideas. But maybe I'm wrong there. There is definitely a market for more Lego Scooby-Doo, I think, at this point, with the gap between the 2015 line and what this would release in 2025. So like a 10-year anniversary of Lego Scooby-Doo in a way. That'd be kind of funny. The Western River Steamboat. Sorry, okay. The Western River Steamboat. I actually think this one is more likely than I thought, because it is such a unique idea. It does look like it's minifigure scale, which makes me so happy. Please, please, please put some minifigs on there and keep it minifig scale. But it's not entirely unique for Lego Ideas if you think about it. We got Steamboat Willie a couple years back, but I think that it's the design of this is a much more realistic Steamboat. Steamboat Willie sold well from my understanding, but then again, how much of that was a Disney tie-in? So yeah, I'd give this a more likely than I would think. Is that the same level of less likely as, say, a Scooby-Doo project? I don't know. Asterix and Obelix. Okay, so Asterix and Obelix, very popular in Europe, but I think that gap between it being popular in parts of Europe and not being so popular in North America, and parts of Asia, kind of makes this not entirely impossible, but maybe I might even give it like a this is extremely unlikely, like, because it is, again, more popular to a certain part of the world that Lego doesn't usually cater to. Like, I would love more European projects and stuff like that, but a lot of times they'll do pop culture from the Americas, you know, occasional pop culture from Asia, you know, with the South Korean BTS. So yeah, I'd give this a very unlikely, unfortunately. As much as I would want it, I don't think it's likely at this time. Then we have DreamWorks Shrek Swamp. I almost did another one where Shrek Swamp. And this is what, our third one in review. Of course, we got Ash and Flashes, which is the one I'm rooting for, because Ash and I are close, so there's some favoritism there. But I do think that one has the most likely in its presentation. And this design is a more interesting take than some of the other ones for Shrek, which I don't know if I like as much, where we have a semi-big fig, like Robotnik scale, I think it would be, Robotnik Lego Idea scale, which I don't know if that totally works, but yeah, then you got a minifig right there. But yeah, with the other two, I think the other two are more likely for this, so Shrek is something I think we're getting from Lego Ideas personally, but I don't think this one in particular is likely because we have two in like the last review period. Is it the first 2023 review period that we have those two? I'm not entirely sure. So yeah, Venice by Lego Overwatch. That's funny. Give us more Lego Overwatch, dang it. You know, this is a lovely scene, a very iconic scene of Venice, which is recognizable, I think, to many people. But again, I don't feel like Lego does too many city-esque builds. But then again, this is a more unique take that's distinct to a city in the actual real world. So yeah, I'd give it a not super likely, but I think there's some potential there. I would absolutely love this to be an actual set. This is one of my favorites of this whole review period. The Stilt House. See, this is more in line with like Lego doing this because they did the A-frame. They did the old fishing store where it's like a building, yes, but something they wouldn't capture in Lego City or anything. So I'd give this one, I would say, more likely than I would think. So what is that, like a 3 out of 4 in the likeliness? The design of this is just really interesting, and they could probably get away with selling this for like 100 to 120 most. And I think this speaks on the level of like a Lego Ideas set, like say even the Treehouse. You know, that's another one that they did. So yeah, I do really like this project, like the presentation, and it's a cool idea. So another Red Bull. I don't think the Red Bull branding is going to make this go really far. So same as the last one. Trojan Horse. Well, it is a bit historical, but is that history too much for them to handle? I mean, we did get a Lego Titanic set, so I'd give that one. I don't know. That's an I don't know. Okay, can I have this one? I don't know. Lovely project though. Red Dwarf Sleeping Quarters. Now a lot of people are going to get mad when I say this, okay? And I don't mean this as a diss, but I don't think Red Dwarf is as relevant to the pop culture zeitgeist, you know? There are parts of the world that really like Red Dwarf, but I don't think you could go down the street and be like, yo, they just made a Red Dwarf Lego set, and people would really get it. Now, you could go down the street and maybe be like, yo, they made a Hocus Pocus Lego set, and people would get that more than Red Dwarf. So, yeah, as cool and as niche as this could be, I think it's a bit too niche for a Lego Ideas set. We did get it in Lego Dimensions as like a little reference, though. But again, it was a reference. It wasn't even like a full-on set. Tailspin. Oh, man, I love some Disney animated show stuff. But I do think Tailspin is a little bit more, probably on the level of Red Dwarf, maybe a little bit more recognizable just because it has Disney's backing. So yeah, this one I would love to be made because I just want more Disney animated shows. You know, this is Disney Afternoon era, but I just think this is especially huge for something that is pretty niche in the pop culture zeitgeist nowadays, unfortunately. Lovely project though. Gives me a little bit of the Barracuda Bay feels, but dang, this is absolutely beautiful. Okay, Stud Lane Book Nook. Oh, I absolutely love this. It gives me some vibes of that Venice set, you know, just this very unconventional city scene. But yeah, I don't think it's likely at all because they just don't do sets, especially set in a city, unfortunately. That's going to be a hard sell. Like, Stud Lane Book Nook, like, I could see this being a Bricklink designer project where they pick it up after, like, it fails Lego Ideas. But yeah, I absolutely love it, but it's just not likely. Minifigure Gumball Machine. Now this is pretty unique. I want to see this one in action. Let's see. Do they have it in action? Aw. Okay, yeah. Cool. Got some like lo-fi there or something. Don't want to get copy striked. Okay. Oh, I love this. This is so cool. Oh my gosh. Does it actually fit? I guess you can't have too many pieces in there, but can it fit a hat and stuff? That's what I'm wondering. Look at that. I'm not seeing any head accessories, but I'm not entirely sure. Let's see. Oh yeah, yeah. Look at that head and the little shoulder part that I can never pronounce, and the sword. Okay, that is kind of dope. And you got Mr. T there. That's funny. I love this. But okay, I love this, but maybe, you know, it's so unique. Lego might want to take a stab at this because it's not like anything I can compare Lego Ideas sets to, unless like closest would be like the maze, where it's like a functional. Yeah, I don't. This is so unique. I don't know. I don't know. I'd say, but no, I think I'd lean towards not as likely because it's just such a stab, but also it's not entirely impossible because it's just so unique. And stuff like this gets a lot of views on YouTube. Like I remember, what was it, Astonishing Studios, I think it was, where he'd make like machines like this, and maybe to bring that to the homes of consumers would make them a lot of money. Maybe they want to take a stab at that. All right, so the greenhouse. This is beautiful, but I just don't think it's likely at all because there are already greenhouses in like a Lego City set recently, and I think it's, again, more of that city setting that they just won't do. Oh, I want this to be real. I love Yu-Gi-Oh! Okay, I don't play anymore because the freaking meta, but like, I love playing old Yu-Gi-Oh! Games now at this point. But I mean, I played Master Duel for a good run last year, so don't like totally dismiss me. But oh my gosh, 2006 World Championship on GPA, its peak. 2011 on DS, oh my gosh, Tag Force on PSP. But I also played most of my life in person, you know, the sweaty Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournaments. I adore Yu-Gi-Oh! If you know, there's Cannon Soldier Pojo, which now I think it's just called Cannon Soldier. That was my channel right before Just Too Good. That was like in 2011. So Yu-Gi-Oh! Means a lot to me. Is this likely? I might say it. I don't think this is likely at all because Lego just does not do anime products. And this is, you know, a card game based. It's not giving us like Yu-Gi-Moto and stuff like that. But I don't think they would do this. I think honestly, if they did a Magic thing, it would be a little bit more likely just because they have a partnership with like Wizards of the Coast, because I think Wizards of the Coast does D&D and they're literally doing a Lego Idea set of D&D next year. But this is, I think, more iconic in just the builds than a Magic thing they could do. Magic is a more popular game, so there's that. But like Blue Eyes and Dark Magician is something that like kids would know. But maybe not at this point, because it is getting to the point where like Yu-Gi-Oh! Is fading a bit from at least a younger generation, because they're just making everything so complicated. And that's why they're like nostalgia pandering a bit, which I don't entirely mind. But yeah, I would love this to be real. I would absolutely love this to be real. This is my new favorite one, but it is kind of nostalgia. I don't think it's the best build out there, even though the submitter did a great job. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Yes. They should have given us a Dark Magician Girl too. Oh my gosh. Now, honestly, if they make this a set, they would throw in Dark Magician Girl just because that would like make it sell 1 billion more units. But yeah, I don't think it's likely at all, which makes me so sad. It's the one I want though. Oh. Okay. Wow, I think there's another Phineas and Ferb project, which is kind of crazy to me. Phineas and Ferb Doofenshmirtz Evil Inc. Honestly, out of every Lego Disney, submission for an animated show, besides maybe Gravity Falls, but Gravity Falls has the problem is they just released the A-frame cabin, which like screws up any potential Mystery Shack. I think Lego should have done the Mystery Shack, but whatever. I think this has so much of a likelihood. It's more popular than Gravity Falls on a whole because it's just Phineas and Ferb was huge, and yeah, I think it's nostalgic for people now. There's a new series coming, but I still don't think it's very likely. I don't think this is impossible, but I think it's a less likely for me, just because Lego never does animated Disney shows, or really animated shows for ideas projects aside from what, the Flintstones. Like, they keep denying SpongeBob, which SpongeBob is even more popular than Phineas and Ferb. And this is a huge building, so unfortunately I put this a less likely, but not impossible, but just less likely. I'd love this to be real, because I just love animated stuff, even though I wasn't like the biggest Phineas and Ferb fan. I don't think it's a bad show at all. Look at the Perry minifig. That is funny. Do they have... Yeah, let me see the other minifigs. Okay, these aren't the best minifigs, but, you know, they worked with what they got. We'd probably get molded heads, you know. Okay, Taylor Swift Lover House. There's like 15 of these in here, and for good reason. I think there's some Taylor Swift Lover Houses in previous reviews we've covered. Some, I think one might have gotten denied. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe none have gotten denied. Maybe they're still currently in review. I think the ones in this review period aren't likely because I think those are going to be selected. I think Lego is definitely giving us a Taylor Swift thing in an upcoming review. Like the next review I think has one. They're going to give us the one from that review because Taylor Swift is just one of the biggest entertainment, I would say, properties. I know they're a person, but the Taylor Swift brand is just enormous right now. I mean, the movie, and this is going to help, there is that movie that they're doing of the concert, the Eras Tour, and that is smashing records. Like, the pre-sales are higher than Endgame. And yeah, the movie's selling like crazy, the music's selling like crazy, the concert's selling like crazy. This is 100% going to be a thing from Lego. Not this particular project, because there's ones in other reviews, but we're getting Taylor Swift Lego. And yeah, not really my thing, but I'm glad for the Taylor Swift fans, the Swifties, as they say. Even though it doesn't seem like BTS is selling as well, where it sold very well at release, and then it's just kind of been sitting on shelves. I think Taylor Swift still has mega potential, just seeing the sales of, especially that movie pre-sale tickets. Lego's going to see them. They're going to be like, okay, yeah, we got to do this. But maybe that might be too late for them to do an earlier review phase, and maybe that's how the ones in this review phase will be chosen, but I don't know. I think they're already dead set on the ones in the early review phases. But there's a lot more coming. The Motograph, I gotta see this one in action. Let's see. Look at that. That is absolutely gorgeous. I love that. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Yeah, I mean, lovely. Don't have too much else to say there. That's a really cool project. It's very clever. It has some historical context to it. Still, I think it might be a bit too niche to sell to the general public, so I'm not giving it like a more likely than I thought or extremely likely. But I'd give it a less likely, but still, I don't think it's impossible. See, Lover House number 2. Phineas and Ferb number 2, which, yeah, buildable Perry the Platypus. And, you know, looking at this, I do want to say, I totally forgot they did the Adventure Time idea set. But that sold so poorly. Like, that was on sale and everything, because they went with these buildable figures, which is why I think this one in particular, they're going to be like, yeah, we could not do that. Like, Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated has more of a shot than this. But yeah, I think maybe that Adventure Time project not selling too well has put off, say, them doing like a Krusty Krab, because they're just like, oh, people don't want the cartoons. But then again, like I said, they also did Flintstones, but that's like a nostalgia cartoon, so who knows? Who knows? And like Flintstones is more popular than, say, Adventure Time, because it's just like been in our pop culture for so long. Is it popular at the moment? Not exactly, but you know. Flying Scotsman, again, same problem that the first project, where I just said that Lego needs to wait on a train. They're going to have released Orient Express, see how that sells, and then we'll figure it out. I'm sure they'll figure out, like, okay, that's when we'll do it. Jumanji game board. This is interesting. I do have mega nostalgia for the Jumanji movie, the original, and, you know, I saw the sequels or whatever. But I do think this might be a bit too niche of an idea at the moment for them to do. The game board itself, you know, maybe if, like, you know, what happened to those ones with The Rock and, you know, was it Jack Black, where they had these new movies that were making mega money, and then they just stopped doing them. I didn't think they, like, cared about the integrity of the brand or anything like that. It was just like, okay, they just haven't done one of those. So yeah, I don't think this one's likely at all, but whatever. Okay, Kerbal Space Program. Oh, like the game? That's cute. I'm glad they have, like, the little game here. That's a fun game, but I do think that doesn't have the relevance it once did, and even when it once had the relevance, it was still, like, an indie game. But really, I love those helmets. Oh my gosh, those helmets are super cool. Can you do, like, unique molds for the figures and stuff? I don't know, but I love that helmet. But yeah, I just don't think the game is as popular anymore. And even when it was popular, it wasn't like a mega, you know, AAA game or anything like that. Which, as much as I see that doesn't make the game better or worse. It's just Lego's looking, okay, what's popular, what will sell? It just won't sell. The Very Hungry Caterpillar. So this is like nostalgia, like very early childhood nostalgia. Is it Eric Carle, right? Am I right? Yep, Eric Carle. I love this book when I was a little kid, but I don't know if like the idea of like a buildable one would be like this is instantly recognizable, but like I don't know if people would spend that much money on like a buildable one, you know? Like I don't think there's potential in that regard, so I don't think this is really likely at all. But a cool idea, cool project, but more niche in its presentation than the actual property itself. Okay, Working Lego Bicycle. See, didn't they do like a motorcycle from Lego Ideas? Like I barely remember. That could be some potential for this, you know. But yeah, I do think this is. I do love bikes, so like I like bike riding. I should say. I'm not like a bike expert or anything, but this is actually a really beautiful model, and I think it's something that's like, okay, we want our next large scale project. You know, we got the Polaroid coming, we got the telephone booth. Yeah, I think this is one of the more likely projects of this review period, honestly. I could see them just approving this. So yeah, and I don't mind it actually compared to a lot of the other large scale stuff. Like, yeah, I like a little bike, but I just hope that's one that like lands sends me, because I'm not going to spend more than like $50 on that one. Okay, so here's the second Muppet Theater. So definitely there's a demand for the Muppet Theater, which makes me happy. Gosh, if they actually make a Muppet Theater set, I hope we get some new Muppets in there. You know, like who was missing from the first one? Maybe like a Sam the Eagle. Maybe like a Robin, you know, maybe like a Rizzo. There's some potential there. Maybe they give us like Dr. Teeth, because like, you know, we just got that show. But yeah, again, just about the same likeliness as the last one, where it's kind of less likely, but I don't think it's impossible. I hope they go with it. Landscape Photographer. Very interesting idea. I love the presentation here. I think the build is cute, but I think it's just a hard sell to the general public. Like the Lego Ideas Landscape Photographer, like it's a scene of a landscape photographer. Like it's a little bit confusing there. I don't know. I don't think that the general public is ready, unfortunately. I'd give that not really likely at all, unfortunately. Schitt's Creek, the Rose Apothecary. It'd be just first off funny that it's like Lego Schitt's Creek, you know. But I don't watch Schitt's Creek. It looks like it's fun, you know. Looks like it's some good Schitt's Creek. And what a cool idea, you know, like this, a lot of the sitcom, cause, I mean, this isn't like, it's a comedy show, but it's not like the most, it's like The Office, you know, where they don't have like a laugh track or anything, but like an apothecary instead of like this person's apartment, this building slice right here, like The Office or something. Like, no, this is a full-on apothecary, and I think that's beautiful, and I think that has more going for it on just a general public level, where, oh, you want a Lego apothecary? Like, here you go. But I don't know if Lego wants to go with this at the moment. So we'll see. I think what they like doing with these like comedy shows, they like seeing how many submissions they could get of them over and over again, and then eventually they give in. You know, like that happened with The Office. So yeah, I think for now they'll wait, but we'll see. The Vintage Toaster. So this is a large scale one. I don't think they want to do this. This is going to be a weird one. Well, first off, because I mean, you're buying a Lego toaster, which is a little bit like, okay, like I don't know if that has it's a beautiful project, don't get me wrong, but I don't know if that has like potential in just on the shelf. Oh yeah, I'm going to buy my Lego toaster. But second thing is, I don't think they want people to play with toasters, and you're going to be playing with toasters here. So I think this one's not likely at all. Maybe I'm completely off base with that. You know, that's what the comments are for, okay? Just let me know what you think. Another Lover House telling you this is going to be made. This Schitt's Creek is going to be made. See, I'm still trying not to swear this year on the channel. It's been a while. New York Corner, again, lovely, 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 lovely. Love this. Not going to be made because they just don't do like urban city designs for Lego Ideas. Maybe I'm off base there. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. See, this is like on the scale of a sitcom set with like the stage and everything. You know, classic property. I don't know if the build is as recognizable in the pop culture zeitgeist. I think Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood is. I don't think they'll do this one. Maybe if this was somehow timed to like when they had those two Mr. Rogers movies, they had like the documentary and like the Tom Hanks one. But yeah, I don't think this is likely at all. Mary Poppins, Cherry Lane. I think this is a resubmission. But yeah, I don't think Mary Poppins is in the pop culture zeitgeist at the moment as much for a build of this scale, you know? If they could get like a smaller build, sure. But yeah, I don't think this one's likely at all. The Krusty Krab. Finally, this will be our Krusty Krab. Please. I think it's time. I think this, like, I don't know if there's another Krusty Krab in review. Maybe there is another Krusty Krab in review and I'm just forgetting it. But they've denied some before. I think if there's no other Krusty Krab in review, this is the most likely out of this whole review period. I think they're just going to give in because it's just like at this point, a 2025 set, whatever license is out there cannot conflict with a Lego Ideas Krusty Krab, and I think Lego is working with it because this will just sell like hotcakes. It would sell like crazy. SpongeBob is so popular still to this day. You know, a lot thanks to meme culture and for that older audience, and of course they just spam it over on Nickelodeon, and then they have like spin-offs now, which they didn't have before. They have a new movie coming out, I think, in 2025. So much potential here. It would sell like crazy. I love old SpongeBob. I want this so bad. I love old Lego SpongeBob, which is extremely nostalgic. I think actually 2 of my shelves are dedicated to Lego SpongeBob at the moment. I mean, one's getting some Sesame Street in there, but still, like, I want this, and I think everybody wants this. I think this is like Shrek level of like, yeah, this is definitely getting made. But I said that before, and then they didn't make them, and there was previous, you know, ones in previous reviews. But I think, again, seeing it pop up in like every review, it's just going to be made at this point. By the time this review period is announced, it's going to be made. Whether it be if there's one still in review from a previous one that I forgot about, or if it's this one. So yeah, that's my thoughts. It's like the Taylor Swift thing, you know, which is the next one. Another Taylor Swift. Snowy Morning in the Countryside. I think this is absolutely beautiful. Don't think this is going to be made. First off, it looks a bit like Sanderson Sisters Cottage. Second off, they have the Winter Village line. They don't touch winter-based stuff for these, you know, winter-based buildings. You know, somebody's going to be like, Nightmare Before Christmas. I'm like, okay, you get what I mean. Marine Life 2, I think because this one was denied. They redid this one. I love the jellyfish. Denied the first time. I don't know. I don't think this is impossible. I think it's just less likely. They'll have to see how the insect set sells. But maybe the insect set coming out now is a bit too soon for them to really judge. But we'll have to wait and see. Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour. Okay, so this isn't even Lover House. Well, you do got a Lover House, but you got her outfits for the Eras Tour. This reminds me of, if you're like a long time Jessica viewer, my only Lego Ideas project I ever submitted was like the Weird Al Yankovic stage. But yeah, this reminds me of that. I think the Lover House is more likely, just seeing how many times that's submitted, and this will be kind of like, okay, a bunch of Taylor minifigures, you know, like, I don't know. But I don't even think this is like impos. Actually, I would say it's probably impos, because there's just like the Lover House will just be like its own thing, you know. So yeah, I don't think this is likely at all. The Chameleon, I think this, maybe if they did like a reptile set and then included a chameleon, this would be likely. But I think just on its own, it's not likely at all. Train Bookends. Oh, this is cute. Oh, I love this. Again, I still have that thing where I just think they're going to wait just a bit for to see how the Orient Express sells. But for now, yeah, I don't think this is likely at all. But I think if they resubmit this in like a year, it'll be likely. But yeah. Ooh, the Luxo Junior lamp. This is something that people don't think of right away, but everybody recognizes it, you know, from the logo of Pixar. Boom, 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 boom. But, you know, and of course, I love Pixar shorts. If you follow my letterbox, like Pixar shorts, I mean, they're nostalgic to me. But I've watched like every Pixar short like at least a couple times because I don't know, they just mean a lot to me. And the early ones like Luxo Jr. or like Kino, like they're just like just so comforting. You know, Red's Dream, Adventures of Wally B and Andre or whatever it's called, Gary's Game. Of course, the one with the birds. Is it for the birds? But yeah, I think this still, because people don't know the name Luxo Jr. Well, if they put like Disney Pixar in like large font and then they put Luxo Jr. lamp like in a smaller font, I think it would sell because like it's the Pixar lamp. But yeah, I'd give this one. It's not like super likely, but I'd give it like, you know, a less likely, but still likely. Like I want it. Maybe I'm just a bit delusional and I want it to be made, but dang it, that would be so cool. NASA's space launch. Okay, so here's a NASA project. Not that it's bad, it's just not my thing. And Lego Ideas does so many. I'm sure this one is more likely than a lot of the other projects. More likely than I expected is what I would give it. but not my thing, but I'm sure it would be. Great bulk contraption showcase. So I was looking at this earlier. Oh yeah, look at that GIF format, so you can see it. Very cool. I guess it just depends if the maze sold well, because that was kind of like a bulk contraption. But this is something that, again, on YouTube, these get a lot of views, so there's some demand, and it's something that Lego doesn't sell. So I'd give it like a less likely, maybe even more likely than I would expect, honestly, because yeah, it's a niche idea, but it's something I think people want, and you could sell Lego Ideas great bulk contraption just on shelves and would sell well. Like, that's, I don't think that's too niche and too hard to explain for what the product is. And then finally we have Chessmaster. Is this like an actual full chess board? I heard rumors of that. Sorry, I didn't look at this one before. Oh wow, I mean, that's pretty cool. But this is like 4-player chess. I am not. Many variation. Okay, so there you go. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. For 4-player chess. That's crazy. I didn't even know they had 4-player chess. 3D chess. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is kind of unique. I don't know if they want to do this right away because they do have their own Lego chess sets. I don't even know. Is the one that's like generic still on shelves? I'm not sure. I guess pop in with the Lego shop. But yeah, I'd give this maybe less likely, but I don't think it's impossible. So yeah, this is an interesting review for me because if you listen to it all, I don't think there's like a runaway hit. Oh yeah, this is definitely going to be made. Because a lot of ones I think are definitely going to be made are in previous reviews. Again, I gotta check on the Krusty Krab, but if the Krusty Krab isn't currently in review, then I would say the Krusty Krab is the most likely here. I think Taylor Swift will get made as an idea set, but there's some in like the review right before this, so I think those will get chosen over this one. Or maybe the timing is right for this to be the the Lover house that they make. But yeah, not really a runaway, like, okay, yeah, this will be made. A lot of less likely ones. So this is a unique review in that regard, which I do like. My hopes are the Krusty Krab for sure. That's like my number one, I guess, at this point. But I also want the Muppet Theater. So you got, yeah, I know. Licensed ideas, yeah. The Motograph was actually like such a cool idea. That's awesome. The Yu-Gi-Oh one, that's my favorite project here. You know, even though as much as I like Yu-Gi-Oh, I still might want like a UCS Krusty Krab more, like still. But I mean, this is my favorite of the ones that will not be made because I just don't think that has any likelihood. But dang it, I want it. They do the Naruto shop before that, which I think the Naruto shop has some chance in previous ones, but who knows? But yeah, man, so many cool buildings. We will probably get Shrek by here from just the other reviews. You know, the River Steamboat has some potential that, you know, as I mentioned earlier, I think that's one of the more likely ones if you're for just the generic stuff. Arcade, probably more likely for the generic stuff. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the 49 products which qualify for the second 2023 LEGO Ideas review. Let me know in the comments where I'm wrong or whatever, what's your thoughts on which ones you want to see the most out of these. Subscribe here for more LEGO Ideas reviews. Check out previous ones, more LEGO news and commentary, and I'll see you later. Peace out. Bye.